Welcome to the Career Secrets channel, expert interview series. Introducing my good friend, Shawn Hilditch, who is a customer experience software expert. How many years have you been doing this, Shawn?
Coming up on my 25th year in the business, working in contact centers and selling and servicing and installing technology.
Wow. Shawn and I work for a US company selling customer experience software solutions. I still remember the two deals that we worked together on, both with the biggest financial institution in the country. Together, we closed a $3 million deal, which was a company record, and then also a $1 million deal right after that. And believe it or not, there was a powerful AI NLP component in the solution, and it was more than 15 years ago. I'm forever grateful for your help, Shawn.
My pleasure. That was a lot of fun doing those two deals.
Thank you. Shawn is the no-nonsense, methodical, steadfast expert that you can always count on. Welcome, Shawn.
Thank you, Edmund. Pleasure to be speaking with you again.
Let's just dive into it. Could you please talk about your career journey?
Absolutely. So I went to Wilfrid Laurier. I got a degree in honors computing and computer electronics, so a mix of hardware and software. I started in year 2000 working for a dot-com bubble company. They quickly expanded, called Delano Technologies. Eventually went bankrupt, got bought, and through about 5 acquisitions. Edmund and I survived a number of acquisitions of companies. Worked for a variety of different, it seemed like we were changing our business cards more than we were changing anything else. But through that, I started as a software developer. I moved into professional services, supporting one of those very large deals, and allowed me to be maintained. We went from over 600 people down to just 2 of us, and then continued through that, supporting those large customers. We acquired another very large technology company based out of Austin, Texas, and so I spent many years consulting and supporting them. And then in about 2015, after spending a lot of time on the professional services scoping side, so doing a lot more of the pre-sales, I made the switch and moved companies finally, and went into a pre-sales engineering role. I did that for about 2.5 years, had some great success selling to some large telcos in the US. From there, I actually kind of had to get out of the industry, partly for contractual reasons, but decided to leave and went into customer success, working with a friend of mine that I had met at Talisma. We then built out a customer success team from a support team. So very early stages of the customer success manager effort. Spent about 1.5 years building out that team, deploying a product called Gainsight, which you'll see I still support today. And then, so that continues my consulting side, but then went into 2 more sales engineering or sales consultancy roles, doing pre-sales and for both Excel and ASAP, and have had great success with both of those, selling to US and Canadian organizations.
Wow. Think about the biggest or most memorable project in your career. How did you make sure that it was a success?
Yeah, so this one's kind of a funny one. Not yours, Edmund, unfortunately, but shortly thereafter. So I had been doing consulting for Dell. One of their big things was Black Friday. Because I was a Canadian, Black Friday was much bigger in the US at those times. I would go down and spend the entire week of US Thanksgiving at Dell, supporting them through that and helping them to build their sales channel. So Dell started very early, mid-2000s, doing chat. They had almost 10,000 chat agents using that Delano Talisma software.
Wow.
They were able to really grow their proactive sales chat. So I was doing consulting with them every quarter. And I went down, and while working with the sales team, I had a meeting with the customer support team, and found out that they were looking to replace us. So I went in and we chatted more. I understood why. They had given us a scorecard. A lot of their details were based off older technologies, features that they had not enabled in their current environment. They were also looking to get off of their current email platform. So myself and my salesperson, we spent about 6 months working on this, and we were actually able to get them to agree to a $4 million renewal. That included bringing over 2,000 email mailboxes, as well as expanding their chat program. So really kind of cool. Just we were about to lose this business, didn't even know we were about to lose this business. We're able to rescue it and actually turn it into the biggest deal after the Edmund deal to bring that one in.
What a great story. What a great story. What do you do for networking?
This is not probably my best area. I definitely follow LinkedIn a lot. I definitely try to keep in contact with the folks that I used to work with, especially the salespeople. So Edmund and some other colleagues I've worked with, they seem to have the best networks. And so me not being as good on that side of it, I really kind of rely on those guys to kind of keep me informed, learn of new opportunities. But definitely whenever I do have a chance, we try to get out to either golf tournaments or other events and meet some folks. And that's kind of the extent of it. But yeah, probably more I rely on my guys that network well, like Edmund and another colleague I've worked with for many years.
Appreciate that. What motivates you the most over the years?
You know what? Initially, I was really all about customer service. I was, had numerous companies that I was supporting and team members that I was managing, and I was really big on that. As I saw the opportunities in sales, I kind of moved into that with a goal of kind of expanding salary. Really, there's a lot of opportunities to make a lot of money in the sales environment, and so that kind of thrill of the chase of chasing these large opportunities and using my many years of industry expertise was kind of that. And just seeing the value that I can bring, the understanding that I have when people tell me what problems are. So I'm still solving problems, but I'm now doing it more for prospects and helping them find better solutions on how to run their business.
Excellent. So you've done post-sales first and then pre-sales now. What do you think are the top qualities you need to be a successful consulting person and also a sales engineer?
So I think this comes down to probably a lot of industries. You've got to know what you're talking about, right? Anybody can come in and be educated on what the key phrases and so on are. But until you kind of live that industry and the different aspects of it, you see many people who start in call centers, they start as phone agents, they work their way up through the supervisor management roles. I've kind of done that, but on the other side. So as opposed to working for the contact centers, I've sat with hundreds of agents over the years. I understand the challenges that they face. And so just knowing my industry and knowing the people that are going to use the technology that I sell really helps me to, one, understand the challenges and problems that they're going to face. Also helps me understand the types of people that are going to ultimately use the technology. And so that allows me to be really consultative in terms of, hey, these are some of the things that you're probably doing. This is what I've seen how other companies have addressed this. This is how we've helped. And then also on a sales engineering, knowing when to say no. Because I've been in that, I know that these guys want everything, but they also appreciate and respect those that say, hey, we can't do everything, but we can do these certain things really, really well. And so both that consulting and the sales side of it have really come together for me to help me to be a very trusted advisor to any company I'm working with.
Do you have a mentor or mentors, and how did you find them?
Yeah, that's a good one. Over the years, I've had a number of different mentors. Often these were either professional services VPs, when I moved into sales, more of those, but and I had numerous, they weren't all mentors. Some of them I didn't get along with as well, but there were some that just had a lot of really good insights, kind of similar to me. They were a few years older than me. They'd had a lot of really good experience in the industry, worked for different companies, and just over breaks and when we were traveling, over dinners and so on. Learned a lot from these guys, and then messaging and calls with them just helped me to really understand kind of the art of the sale and the art of customer relationships, how to build those up. Edmund, you were another prime candidate for this. So just really the never stop, never say die, keep fighting for it. I mean, we were told numerous times that a deal wasn't going to happen, and just keep pushing. So guys like you and others that I've worked with have been mentors of mine.
Appreciate it. I remember the $1 million deal that we did. I think the SVP at that point was telling me, Edmund, don't waste too much time. It would be about 300, if that much, K, that is $300,000. And we brought in $1 million.
That's right.
And
that's exactly it. Yeah. Tenacity, for sure.
Yeah. US dollars too.
Yep.
What do you think is the best way to get into software or technology consulting and sales engineering today?
So I think similarly, obviously I started as a development guy, so I had gone through computer science. I built many web pages and web applications, and moving into this was pretty easy for me to start at that kind of ground level and work my way up. But for those that aren't maybe in the technology space and aren't developers or programmers, I would suggest, getting in at kind of the ground level of the people that they would want to sell to, whether it be starting as a call center agent, or people who are using that technology. Get used to how to use that. That's going to give you a lot of just knowledge that you can't learn through school. Just that experience will help you then be able to move in and have credibility with the people that you eventually consult to or sell to.
And certification. There are a lot of certification online, some are even free. Would you recommend that? Is there anything particular that they should be looking for?
I think from what I've seen, I've worked with numerous people. Some have kind of done the technology boot camps, the 8-12 week boot camps. Some have gone through full-on computer engineering. Some have done computer software degrees. So definitely there's a lot out there. I think certainly the certifications are helpful in LinkedIn, getting people's attention and coming up in searches. So definitely I think those are big, but also just the people building those connections, and sometimes those are built at those ground level, entry level positions, building that network up of people who can recommend you. Almost every one of my jobs has been through connections or people reaching out to me. Very rarely have I had to actually go and search. I've sent out a few resumes here and there, but most often it was through the connections that I've made over my career.
Well, with your experience and track record, you're sought after. So I think that's your thing. What is the most important piece of advice that you want to give to young people who are interested in a career in software?
So, the market, the industry is changing so quickly, especially with the release of ChatGPT. The types of developers available have changed. Initially data scientists were a really big thing. But there's just so many different opportunities now for different skill sets. We used to say one of the biggest things, data scientists were really good at the data, but they didn't know how to apply it to the business. The biggest thing is you will need to be well-rounded. You need to understand the business side, because they're often the ones that are going to make the decision. You also need to understand the technology side. So, even my education, I had both business and computing classes and courses. I had a minor in business. I think that's helped me a lot, understanding both sides and being able to do that, as opposed to just being 100% focused on the technical aspects or the software itself.
Corporations are only hiring at this point data scientists, software engineers, technical roles. How can someone get into the field of AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this one is 2 years ago. I'm not sure I would have known exactly how to answer this. But with these new large language models and generative AI, this has changed. So you now have the ability to ask a software or write something and ask one of these large language models to generate code. And so you don't have to be necessarily the coder to do it. You can say, hey, I need a program that does this, this, and this. Or you can have it write a resume. You can have it build poems, create images, videos, etc. The key behind that is, how do you phrase that? What's called prompt engineering. And so I think this is really something that brings that kind of data science. How do you convert it into business? Is really that same idea of, I don't need to ask it a really technical question. I need to give it parameters and boundaries of what I want it to generate. It will now use its large language model, which built off all of the data from the internet and all these other sources, to build that for me. And the better that I can craft those prompts, the more accurate and more precise that solution it's going to bring me is. So I think this is a really big opportunity for people who may not be, hardcore coders or mathematicians, to understand and use that business understanding and comprehension to understand how to prompt these large language models to get really great results.
Excellent. So let's say if there are no jobs out there, I can actually start learning now and get comfortable with it. By the time that they're hiring business analysts and people who work the system, then I'm ready already, because I'm just too familiar with it at that point. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
What has been the most impressive move you have seen by a salesperson or pre-sales person in your career?
Impressive move. A few different guys, yourself included, just the tenacity of, this deal doesn't work. Why are we doing this? The company doesn't want to go in this direction. And then just working and saying, this is the direction we need to go. We can resell this. and really pushing kind of, usually it's the top down, but I've seen a couple of different sales guys in my years where they're able to kind of change that by showing opportunities in the market, using their industry expertise. I've been able to kind of change the directions that companies were going, to get them to sell the product that they know that they can, or build the product that they know that they can sell. So as opposed to having that top down, hey, this is a product, go sell it, seeing those opportunities and having the companies adapt.
If you were to do it all over again, what would you change in your career?
I probably might have gotten into sales a little bit earlier. Those years in customer support or professional services, worked a lot of hours, a lot of time. Looking back, probably not my most fruitful years in terms of work-life balance. Just a grind. Every day you wake up, you've got a mile-long list of things to do. So I probably would have gotten into sales a little earlier. The art with sales is you're very much self-driven. You don't wake up every day to a list of tasks that somebody's waiting for. You have to kind of define and build out those tasks yourself. I think a lot of folks can get into that. They kind of just wait for things to come to them. To be a good salesperson and to be very successful, you have to work at it. You've got to be proactive. You've got to be chasing those leads, understanding the market. And I enjoy that side of it. I definitely enjoy the chase, but I think there's definitely a better work-life balance. So probably would have gotten to that sooner, but as I've said earlier, those years in software development, those years working and supporting customers, sitting with agents, I don't think I would have the reputation I do now if I had not done those things.
Thank you. That was wise. Any other suggestions, advice that you would give to our career-minded folks?
I think I've said quite a bit. As Edmund said, I'm not a man of many words, but I think the other big piece is do what you love, right? I happen to get involved in contact centers. I think we've all been in those contact center environments where we're talking to them, and whether it's because our internet's not working or our phone bill's too high, or there's other, hey, I need to return this pair of shoes, whatever it is. I always just had a passion for that industry. So I think, it's important to understand what you have a passion for, right? It could be logistics, it could be, healthcare, it could be more government related, but find something that you have a genuine interest in. It doesn't have to be your biggest passion. Sometimes that's best done outside of work and keeping those separate, but find something that you have an interest in. You see that there's some challenges, something that you want to try to make better, and then get into a job where you can help make that better. And I think that'll provide a lot of fulfillment for you beyond just the paycheck.
Thank you so much, Shawn. And I just want to let you know that you gave me comfort because I know that a super consultant is watching my back when I was selling.
Good to know. I appreciate that.
Thank you again.
Thanks,
This
Evan.
is Professor Edmund. Until next time, these are your career secrets.